Hi folks, it's Jeff here. I'm still in Phuket, Thailand. I've been requested by some people to do a review using the 30-minute trader with Great British Pound, United States dollar. And the person, when you see this, well, I was going to send this to you, you will see that because it's your request. And typically a request for either EUR, USD, UD, USD, or gold. So if there's anybody else jumps on or if they want to have a look at that, I'll do that. Yourself, Tim, do you have anything you want me to look at? Are you quite happy with Great British Pound USD? I've showed you lots of
Yeah,
different examples.
yeah, that's fine, mate.
Yep. Okay, so there's been an update, just so you know, it's given more trading opportunities because I'm sure we all know the markets are heavily manipulated, and we should know that by now. But there's certain times of the day where there's some big volume burst in the market, and I put together this, I call it software plugin, whatever you want to call it, as a way to try and extract that. But then that was the first phase. So it doesn't get them all. Yep. But then I've added the second phase where it gives a broader time period. Yep. And that's where the mentoring comes in. That's where the actual education part comes in. But what I'll do is I'll just go straight to there. I'll go to the now and I'll go back a couple of days. I'll go back a couple of days and we'll take it from there. Now, so like Patricia to come on. Hello, welcome, Patricia.
Hi there.
All right, Patricia.
Hiya.
We have an international group today. We have Patricia from Bonnie, Scotland, like myself. God's country. Yeah.
It sure was. I'm just
sure
back from Kinloch leaving, so yeah, it pretty much was.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Oh, but Tim from Perth in Australia, Western Australia, and Demo in the southwest of England. So welcome, everybody. Just to let you know, Patricia, I've had a request from someone to look at Great British Pound US dollar pairs. But is there any you want me to look at? Because I'll have a quick look at a couple of days. If there's one you want me to particularly look at.
I'll just follow you because I'm just very slowly. I'm a bit stuck with the other group. I'm needing to create time to get somebody to talk me through everything.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll have a chat to you afterwards with that. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get you moving forward. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, this is TradingView. If anybody's watching, and this is it's a charting program, and it's also a trading program. Yep. I'm just going to go up here for a minute, and I'm just going to hide that because I don't want any distractions. What here is a very dark background. I'm playing with different backgrounds. And these are here called candles. And right now, this candle represents 1 minute of time, as it says up here, 1 minute time. So is also that, so is that, always that, and that's also 1 minute. So we're using a 1 minute chart. Let me explain what's on the chart. Here's a little, these grays ones in this chart represent the price going down, and the white mean the price is going up. Would that make sense to you, Tim and Patricia?
Yep.
Yep. Now, we'll have then these little things at the bottom. Now, I call them, I made this word up. I call them stabilizers, just to get people. So if you think of it on a bicycle, and on Australia they call them something else. When you first start to learn to ride a bicycle, you have two little wheels at the side of you, and they're just to keep you on track. And that's what these are. And these come up automatically after a couple of candles after it moves. Okay. Does that make sense? So can you see that red one there, Patricia?
Yep.
Yep.
So I'll just take it back a couple of candles, just for example. We'll just do this here. So the price is here, and it moves up, and this green one doesn't come actually to there, but that's neither here nor there. But what it does is, what it's done, you see something else here, it's going up. So if you wanted to buy there, what I call minimum viable trade would be this here, this red box. So you always have to make sure there's enough space for that. Now, you know, it just goes beyond that.
Look at that.
And the next candle goes up, just takes, there's something left over there. And then it comes back. I mean, you know, it comes back, it's a down, it's a down, it's a down, and a down. And when you look left, what happens there? Your stabilizer is telling me it may reverse at the roundabout somewhere in that box. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Now, it's not perfect because it's artificial intelligence and we had to code it to tell it to do that. Somewhere in there. Now, we can fine tune it, and you'll learn about when you come into the mentoring program, you actually find out more detail where specifically it turns around. It then goes back up. Now, when you look up here, when you always look left, so when it goes back up, there's no stabilizer up here, but what it does is it goes to this previous high. So if I'm up here now, I would be looking left. I'd be looking for a stabilizer down here or down here. It's not the correct word, but I'll just call it a stabilizer. So it comes from there, it comes down, it comes down. If you look left at the bottom there, then it goes back up. Do you notice that?
Yep.
Yep. So that's just a very brief overview how to read these. Okay. And then it comes down. And you see that there, if you look left, Tim, if you saw some of the education in the 10X inner circle group, there's a place on that candle you would draw a line. Yeah. Now, do you know what that is? Have you been to that section yet?
Is that when you put the 50% on?
50%. Just take a rough guess. 50%. Just there. Look at that. Look at that for a target. Bang.
Yep.
Simple, easy, very effective. Using these large engulfing candles. Yep, that's exactly what it does. Well done. Giving away some trade secrets there, but that's okay. If Patricia's Scottish, he's allowed them. Yep. And then when it then goes to the moon and takes out something up here. What's this up here that it's just went to the top? What's that, Tim?
Liquidity.
Liquidity. No trade secrets. I'm just checking you've been studying. Well done. Yeah. So Tim's just had access to some education, and already he can see why it goes somewhere. Now, watching it after time is one thing. Watching it live is something else. So what we do in a circle mentoring program, the 30-minute or even what it is, we teach people to read the charts to begin with, after the fact, and then people have to place their charts and they have to tell us what they see. And then as time goes on, they start seeing it in advance. They start seeing it in advance. For example, as this comes down, they'll be looking left and they'll be seeing as it's coming down, people will be saying it's got high probability of reversing off of this part of the candle. And just like Tim said, bang. So it's not just about, just like everybody at home, it's not just about me or anybody else calling trades. It's about education. So the old religious analogy of teaching to fish for yourself. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm just going to talk about this, what more to get in the software. These things have been added, and we'll explain what that is. So rather than just one arrow, we still get the arrows, but this here, Tim, you'll love this. When you see these, it's more times where you're looking for liquidity. There's your high, there's your low, and at that point between there and there, it's got to go below there or above there, and exactly what that does. So it goes up, comes down, there's something not here, there's something not here. You know what that is, Tim? And it goes straight up. Liquidity up there. So I'm going to go back a little bit in time to Thursday, because the gentleman's asked He's asked for at least a couple of days of this. Now, one thing I'll say to you is this. Patricia, Panache, is this a
Yeah.
downtrend or an uptrend?
I would say it's a downtrend.
A downtrend. At that point, yeah, in this 1 minute time frame, from all you can see is the. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to look left. I'm going to squeeze this up based on everything what we've said, we've learned, and we look left. We see it's at the bottom here. And when you look left, here's a little bit more education. When you look left, what's here? Potential danger. But Tim would probably point out something else. Tim would point out, Jeff, what about 50% of this candle? Tim would probably say, because, you know, he can read candles now, and he's only been at it a few days, bang, straight to there, then it goes to the moon. So what these are actually volume bursts in the market. It's red. What it's done, it's red. We're in a downtrend. That's what it's actually done. But if you've actually read what's actually happening, it rejected there of the 50%. It came back to it again, and then it took off. And that's what I teach people. And I insist on people go through the education before they come in. But as a complete newbie, you could take every single one of these, and you'll lose some because of that. Well, that's life, because you have to learn. Does any have any? Tim, does that make sense from what I've shown you in the education?
Yes, mate.
Doesn't
Yep.
it? Yeah, because you can see
Yep.
there, you get the volume burst. It's either going to break through, or bounce. Well, it bounced off that as exactly as I was expecting, and goes to the moon. Where does it stop, Tricia? What's this here? The software tells us a target right there. Where does it go to? Right there. Then turns.
So is that an indicator of where it might go to put your
Yeah, it doesn't have to go there. It could stop here, for example. But there's a probability of it going any of these red things.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just play a little replay for you so you can see that. So I've asked it to go back in time. Okay, so this is there. We've got all these here. So we've looked left and we've seen that 50%. Yep. And we've just got with that little arrow. But you'd be cautious because you're expecting it to reverse. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
So rather than jump into it straight away, either this way or even this way, let's let it show its hand. Okay, it's going sideways. Tim, would you be motivated to enter anything from there? I wouldn't.
No,
Going
no, because you're
sideways.
still in a downtrend.
Still in the downtrend, and it's still at this here. This is like a if you think of a ceiling and a floor, right?
Support.
Yeah. Think of your head, and it's hitting all against your head, and it's getting sore. It's either going to break through or bounce off it. So let's just wait and see. It's still there. Now, look at that. So a big candle. So let's just see what this next candle does. Okay, so now it looks like it's changing the direction. And now we have targets as it goes up. So in here, Trisha, you learn about there's a gap. Sorry, not a gap. It's a space here. There's no candle here. Do you see that? There's nothing.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Now, sorry, say that again.
Why does that happen?
Because okay, if you buy anything in life, there's got to be a seller. If you sell anything, there's got to be a buyer. Basic laws of supply and demand. Now you see there, this is basically just all sellers. Do you see that? Just all sellers. And now the market doesn't like that because it's improper. It has to go back to fill these. When I say what's the spaces, there's no overlap in a candle. Yep. So it pushed up there, and my favorite entry is when it comes up and it comes back to that area there to sort itself out. And at that point there, that is when I get excited and I say, let's place an entry there. We not only have this, we also have this stabilizer here. Yep, and it takes off. Now, for targets, we have a target here for the exact same reason I said, somewhere up here, as well as this up here. Show people how to actually read this indicator and do more with it. Yeah, it's coming down. Now, just so you know, you can exit the trade any time you wish. Notice went up to nearly 2% in profit. Exit the trade if you're happy with that. You don't have to be a superstar. 0.5%, 1%, 0.1%, whatever people's strategy is, stick with it. Yeah, and then you can now see it's going up here. Yeah, this because of this, what's not here. Yeah, and it went into 50% of it. 50% of it as it's sitting right now. And now batting through the moon straight to the other target, which I highlighted.
So when you have those empty spaces, is that somewhere that you would start watching really closely because it's likely to turn round?
Yes. So what you would do is you have these things called stop losses. So I would bring that up, and forgot about Pebble Earnest, I would actually bring it up here. And I would almost like saying, take me out, please, because you've got profit. I wouldn't be in that trade, to be honest. I like getting in and out, doing my trade, close the computer and walk away, because I've got more important things to be getting on with in life than just sitting looking at a screen all day long. I enjoy it. It is enjoyable, but I don't need to go for 6%. You know? Okay, I'm going to stop that there. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to carry on from where I was. So I've showed you that one there. I'm going to come forward now till I get another one of these. Yeah, we get another one of them. So I'm going to delete everything. So we've came from a high. And as it's coming down, Patricia, do you notice anything here or something that's not here?
Yeah, it's more of that space, isn't it? It's
yeah, so it goes down. So we know it's got to go back up to that space. And guess what happens? It goes to that space. A volume burst indicator said, I would watch this, Jeff, if I was you. And guess what? Bang, it just drops like a stone. It just goes through it just drops. Now, we have another one. And what this is read is, there's been a change of direction. And there has been, it's correct. Absolutely, there has been incorrect. But you now see we're at a top here, where it's like once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times it's like hitting a ceiling. Do you see like a ceiling? Like the opposite before. So that little thing, let's say you decide to, those people considering coming in, those people considering getting this software, you can do something like this. You can just do a little box like this. Sorry. Extend right. Just do a little box. Drag that out. So it's got a break above there or break below there. Would that make sense to you? And when it breaks below, guess what? You've got targets of there or there. So if you took that trade, you wouldn't be disappointed, because that was the last candle before it turned, full candle before it turned around. Can you see that? And then went back up to a little box, then did the exact same thing again. Because look, if we look left, what do you see when you see left? Now, I created this for beginners that with, I know there's a little bit to it, with zero experience or is virtually zero experience. They can see that. Now, this here, this is called, we call this a Mike's box because Mike's a brand new trader. And last week, one of the days of the week, he did 70%. 70%. He's been with us, he started on the 3rd of April. So we call it Mike's box because it works for him and other people. So I just keep going, I keep going, I keep going. It's not picked anything up. Yeah, there is opportunities. There's other opportunities, and we'll get to that. I'm just trying to stick to the basic things we see. We get one there. So, question for you: is this an uptrend or a downtrend?
Well, it's an uptrend in
Uptrend.
that small section.
And that's picked that up. That's all that's done. It said there's a volume burst in the market. Now, certain times of day, when you get these volume bursts, if you reverse engineer these, you can actually get in earlier beforehand, 20 to 30 minutes, which again, I'll be actually teaching that this coming week. Does that win? Yes, it does. Is it 20%? No. Does it have to be 20%? No. For me, if that goes 1%, I'm a very happy man. It goes 2.33%. Close the computer, walk away. The danger with this one, those people at home, because we've nothing left, we've no target. See that? So I'm cautious when I've nothing left, there's no target. So where will it finish? Based on everything else I've said, would that make sense to you, Patricia? Because there's nothing here to aim for.
Yeah.
I'm cautious.
So how would you work out? Why is your yellow triangle sitting there? Is that just from the last few bits before it?
Okay, so what it's done is it's created a volume burst, but with this one, it's picked up not just the volume burst, particular time of day, but there's a movement in the market. It didn't pick it there, it picked it there. Okay, so it's picked it up. But if you got 2% from that, would you be disappointed? Certainly not. You ask any trader in your other group, would they be disappointed? Absolutely not. So what I'll be doing is probably just getting 1%, 0.5%, closing the trade, done. Because there's, or even not because it's danger, because there's nothing here. And this is called consolidation. There's other names for it. There are other names for it, for sure. Look at this, Patricia. This comes down. Look at this big candle there. It comes down. Thank you very much. Then goes to the moon. Just what I've been teaching. Yeah. What's this here? Huge manipulation. Look at that. Does that get it right? It certainly does. Woo! Look at that one. But that's a danger. That's a danger one. So it opens there, but yes, you've got to be careful with that one.
Say that again, Jeff. Why would you be cautious with that one?
Because of that wick.
Okay.
And it depends. So there's some depends on when you enter. Right. So let's say you entered at the close of the candle, which is there, right? Or you potentially enter, you settle there and you get it in at the close here. But you have a decision to make. Decision to make. It's got this huge wick. But you have another decision to make. Because we have a big candle like this, what could happen is it could go to what did I say previously?
The 50%.
Oh my God. The light bulb moment happens, doesn't it, Patricia?
But that would be the wrong way, would it then, if you...
Well, yeah, but just let it do that, then enter the trade as it comes down. This is where you learn to know what's going on. But that's why I said you have to be careful, because that could just, could have easily been there.
Okay.
Just be cautious. But you see that one did go. So the algorithm got it correct. Like it said, it's a down, and that's exactly what happened. So looking upon this, would you see this as more of a sideways, an up, or a down?
A sideways event.
Sideways, danger. So this will draw one of Mike's famous boxes.
Okay.
We do that, and we just wait for it.
Got a fucking ladder.
Yeah, and it's still going side. We just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And eventually, it goes out, and if you only get a little bit, you only get a little bit. There's nothing you can do about when you see trades like this.
You just leave it alone, not go near it.
Leave it alone. But could you get a nice win out of that? You actually could. You could. Yeah, but we want it to get out and start going up and down again. So once that starts, great, we can trade again more. Now, so you then once you've been through, you understand this. People initially just start looking upon this, and then they start looking around what's happening. So, for example, once you've learned things, you'll say, well, there's one of these red stabilizers up there. It comes down, and what Jeff says, this stabilizer's got a high probability of coming back to, and with this 50% thing here. So what I think Jeff's really saying is, there's a chance of doing between there and there. So if I was through that there, it might come into 50% of that. Would that make sense?
Yep.
That's exactly what it does. This all came from the 10x method, which I created, and I brought it down to a 1 minute chart where we just follow a simple indicator that tells you there's a volume burst, and then based on that, we've added these things to try and help make sense to people. Yep. And that's where it's developed. And now here we go. I'm looking for another one of these spikes. We've got one there. Step one, I ask myself, up, down, down, it's a downtrend. Great. So I look left. I'm looking for any targets. Okay, I notice a green target down here. Do you see a green target here? So all I do is I draw a box. I extend it right. It already went up, hit it once already. Let's see what happens. Hit it again. Oh my God. Out of this, look at this. Goes to the moon. And that's how to use this. It's a real bit way to use it. There's a volume burst in the market. You look left for a stabilizer. And it goes. Not just the first time I
So
showed you.
what are you doing there, Jeff? Putting your stop loss in at the bottom of that box?
Other side there. Yes. Yeah.
And then just putting a sell indicator in wherever you choose your
A buy.
a buy.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just it's okay. Wherever you do it, can any of these here, there, whatever, that below the box, and you can see what a target. Here's a target here. We have to be careful. Now I want to show you this. It's quite interesting. At that target, it has a little dancer in it as a small pullback. See that? Look left.
Yeah.
Before continuing. So these are the things you've got to consider. And then it just keeps going. And it just keeps going. But if that they are, you'd be able to trade another 4%. And all we did was, we had a volume burst in the market. We looked left. We noticed a stabilizer. We drew a box. I went into there. And then away it went. It's simple. I think it's quite easy. And for me, it's very effective. It's a question up here. Okay. Yep. So for the person asked for this, Great British Pound, US dollar. Today I've been a little bit more advanced with it because the truth is the volume burst, particular times of the day, we're expecting movement in the market. And as we see that, that's exactly what it does. sideways. We're not getting involved in any of that. No, we're not getting involved in that. Here we go. Had a little volume burst there. Now, sideways movement. So what you do in sideways movement, Patricia?
Sorry, say that again.
Would you say that's sideways?
Yes, yeah.
So in a
But you just-
sideways movement, we do one of Mike's famous boxes.
Mm.
Yeah, just draw a box. Don't be a superstar, draw a box. But make it so you can see through it. So it bounces a hit there. The other thing, you can also do something else as well. This here, based on what you've seen today, Patricia, that candle, you could expect, I know this, we're giving away a lot today. If I was to draw that, would that make sense based on what you've learned so far?
Just for the 50% marker.
Absolutely. Too many secrets, Patricia. Shh.
But is that you putting in your stop loss again? What's
No,
that
there's no
line?
stop loss. The stop loss is down here. That's
Uh-huh,
the
to the
target.
top.
That's the target.
Right, okay.
Stop loss is here. Look.
Yeah.
Look how amazing that is.
Mm. Wow.
Using Mike's box. You could buy that if you wanted to. And then you wait for it to go out. We're doing a retest. It's dancing around. It's not really, it's still going sideways. It's not, when it goes like this is not a pair I trade for these reasons. Yep. But even with this pair, and it can move a lot, this pair can move an awful lot. Look at this, bang, straight down. Volume burst in the market. It just went, it dropped like a stone. No messing with that one. And that's what it picks up. And away you go. And, oh, here we go. I'll remove all the drawings. Because previously, there was a drawing down here, wasn't there? I've just deleted it. In fact, I'll put it back. That was one of these stabilizers. Remember that? Remember I did that back there, Tricia?
Yes, yes.
That same stabilizer that I drew is there. It came back to it again.
Okay.
And away it went. Now this, and it went up and up and up. And what I want you to do, this is a free class, I don't want to give away any more secrets, but when it goes up there, look left. Tell me what you see and tell me what you don't see. And tell me if that makes sense. What's not here? It's not a candle there, is it?
Yeah, you've got that space again.
And then it drops down. Thank you very much.
So when you get a row of the spaces without the second candle,
yeah,
you're looking for, am I looking for that yellow indicator to appear then?
That will only appear with my software. Forget that. To get that there, no, that doesn't appear then. No.
Okay.
Forget that. They're not correlated. That there and that there is not correlated. They're not connected. That's something completely different. But when you see it going back up and stopping there, that is. When it stops here, that is. Okay. Comes down, dances about. Okay, and it comes down again. We have a volume burst in the market. Now, all I want you to do is look left and tell me what you don't see.
Yeah, you're saying.
And then it goes to the moon. Bang. And where's it stop? Look where it stops.
All right, the indicators.
It's almost like you're saying, oh my goodness, this cannot be real. What it is. So let me stop there. Hi, Damon. Welcome back, mate.
Yeah, so I lost connection there, mate, for a minute.
Okay. Questions, learnings, first of all, discoveries, Patricia.
My discovery is that I haven't got a huge amount of time at the moment, and I am really struggling to keep on top of that. And all in the other group, I've got a list of things to do, and I don't really understand where to go for them or what to do with them. So there's the whole thing of opening a dummy account or something like that.
I'll help you with all that. Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah. So yeah.
And I'm just trying to grab hours or half hours here and there just to piece my way through some of the education.
Yeah. Okay.
It's,
For that dummy account, you can actually do it inside that software I was just using. It takes about 3 minutes to open, but it's only easy if it's you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, it's never easy.
that's right. But I think you've got to do it to learn it as well.
Yeah,
So
there's different ways. There's different. Yeah, I'll help with that. What did you learn today? Well, just watching that, may I ask? Was it difficult? Was it easy? Could you see it? Could you see sort of when you looked left? Could you see those things I said? Can you spot them?
I could, as you were talking, but whether I'd be able to do that on my own at this present time. But I think it's just practice and reiteration of it that would actually help me visually become more aware of those trends.
Yep.
And just the things I'm looking at.
Now, think of sensory acuity. Think of when you were working with clients, something tells you, whether your gut or whatever, something said there's more to this. There's more to this. Okay. Now, I don't want to get into too much because this is being recorded, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So like everything, it's like a muscle. You have to build the muscle when you go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what I would say, Jeff, is there's a couple of long weekends coming up. So especially next weekend, I'm at home, I'm not doing anything. So that'll probably be the next, from Thursday onwards, the next time I can put my head in it, into education. So I don't know if it's worth trying to get the dummy account set up before then, so that I've got time to sit down and work my way through some of the stuff.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
I'll spend, I'll close this, I'll send you another Zoom and I'll show you how to set up with this software. That won't do everything they're looking for, potentially, but it'll give you immediately a dummy account which you can trade from.
Okay.
Right. So those people at home, there's a gentleman asked for Great British Pound US dollar. I hope that showed it. Today I did a little bit more detail. For those people that have got experience, so they can see what we're actually doing and the reason why this software is so successful and powerful and people are doing really well with it. So my name is Jeff Goodwin, the 30-Minute Trader. So thank you all for being here. Demo, thank you.
Cheers, Jeff. I'll speak to you later, mate.
Yeah,
all right.
Thank you. Patricia, thanks very much.